Anton, the question for you, for me, is like, when you were playing, obviously Man United were dominant. Did you ever expect it to be like this now, the way it is at Old Trafford?
No, definitely not. From when I was playing against them, you went to Old Trafford and it was a barrage of attacks, attack after attack after attack. And when you got a breather was when the ball was out of play, So I definitely didn't expect it to be what it's like now.
You, of course, would have watched a lot of Manchester United's games over the years as well. Does there have to be a sense of realism at Manchester United now? Times have changed. I think for me and a lot of Manchester United fans, we still expect them to be up there challenging. And I know, Ada, you say they need to be more realistic, but given the money that they spend, the players that they have, is it fair, Anton, that we expect more from Manchester United? 100%.
When you look at the money that's been spent at the club since Sir Alex Ferguson's left, the expectations are going to be massive, And on top of that, the actual history of the club, what the fans are used to seeing and they're no longer seeing it, you're going to have the expectation, you're going to have people pointing fingers. That's the nature of the beast when you're at a football club like Manchester United.
You know what the thing is, though? I remember when Fergie was at his POM and United were at the POM and he used to sign all the best players and the biggest wages and everyone used to want to go United. Now you look at the Premier League, everyone signs big players. Right, I mean, even Aston Villa can spend 200 million over 2 seasons. Everyone can sign big players. Everyone can attract big players. They're no longer at this team now where they were just one and one alone. Everyone can do it now. I just don't think they're the same United team that we like to dream they were. It's almost like, look, I'm a Liverpool fan. I remember Liverpool always used to tell stories about what we used to do in the 80s and 90s. That was then. It took us so long to get back.
I can tell you're a Liverpool fan because you're speaking with your chest right now.
I can see it right now.
I can see.
The thing is, Anton, I love this right now. I've been waiting for this. Man United ruined my teenage years. This is comeback.
Let's just talk about the game last night, because maybe the debate is about the quality of the squad versus the quality of the manager. Well, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said after the game, when you see the team sheets, you think there might be goals in the game because there's loads of attacking talent. I don't think anyone was disappointed with the chances for both teams. Fred should have been sent off in the first half. He was definitely walking a tightrope. Eventually, he was sent off for a second yellow, which, in my opinion, was harsh, but he definitely should have got a red in the first half. But you wonder whether it's a bit mismanagement from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And also, when you hear him talk about looking at the team sheets and expecting there to be a lot of goals, you want to say, well, it's your job to stop the opposition scoring goals. You shouldn't look at any team sheet involving a match involving your team and think the opposition have a good chance of scoring a few goals. It's very strange to me.
One sec though, Anton. Like, again, you remember United when it was Vidic, it was Ferdinand, it was Stam, all those big boy defenders, right? Defenders that, honestly, it was just a nightmare to try and go past. What do you, honest opinion, honest here, what do you make of the likes of Lindelof, Maguire, and those players at the back now?
Are they Man United players? They're not performing like Man United players, that's for sure. I wouldn't, but it's a hard one for me because I'm talking about a player in Maguire who's played higher than me. Plays for our country. He's had a fantastic time in previous years and he's a very good player. Is it the price tag that's weighing down on him?
Could he have played for the country when you were playing? You look at what was there in front of you, and look, obviously you didn't get an England senior cap, but Woodgate was in front of you, Terry, King, Ferdinand, Campbell, Carragher. He plays for England now because there is no one there.
I mean, if I was coming through now, if I was a Ben Godfrey, a Mason Holgate, I would be licking my lips right now because I'll be thinking I've got a chance to go and play in this team. When I was coming through, as you said and alluded to there, I was up against the best, and we're talking about not just the best in England. I'm talking about some of them were up there with the best in the world. So to even try and get into that squad, it was luck.
Yeah.
I wonder, looking at the other players, I know you mentioned Lindelof at Manchester United and the quality of the squad as a whole, whether it is good enough, whether sort of the criticism of the manager is harsh, whether he needs more time. It's almost 2 years since he took over as interim boss, but then full-time. I'd like to give him as much time as possible because he's a club legend and it's the club I support. But it seems now...
Is he a club legend?
Yeah. And it seems now, though, that...
Is he a club legend,
Yeah,
Anton?
he is.
Anton, is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer
We're not going to argue about that.
No, is he a club legend?
We're not going to argue about that.
If you win a triple at a club, then you got to be a club legend, no?
Oh, jeez.
Thank you.
A statue for him soon at Old Trafford.
Thank you. Well, But my point about Manchester United, I think, is that a lot of people say, doesn't matter who the manager is, they won't be able to do as good a job. And I can't believe that. I don't want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to be fired, but I think it's become evident that he will never really take them to where they want to be. They're a very inconsistent team. How do you build consistency? That sort of feeling that you can go out any week and win, how does that come? Is that the manager? Is that a group of players to motivate themselves instead?
No, I think it's a group of players. Manager plays a part 100%. Manager's got to be stern at times. Manager's got to be... I always looked at my managers as my father, you know, in terms of, okay, if they're hammering me or they're criticising me, yeah, but your father does that, your parents do that. It's called tough love, you know, and that's the way I always looked at things. And I think they need a bit of that, but also it has to come from within too. I think I've heard a lot of people say, my brother said it on live on BT, other pundits have said it, there needs to be people within that dressing room who's pulling people together and saying, listen, you're not playing well enough, you need to sort yourself out, you're giving the ball away too much. This is Man United, by the way, you know, and I was like that at West Ham. We were not as big as Manchester United, but the fan in me, as a West Ham fan, when I played for West Ham, the fan in me would make me say to players, hold on a minute, you're giving the ball away, what are you doing? Come on, sort yourself out. And if you can't take it from me, if you can't take hammering from me, you can't play in front of these fans. So I suggest you shouldn't be here. You know, I was quite outspoken, and I think that's what it looks like to me. From the outside, it looks like that's what they're lacking.